Welcome back, everyone. Nolan Kelly here with Jovanni breaking down Sunday's World Cup action. We got a two-gamer. We just finished watching Argentina barely sneak out a win against Australia, and thankfully some favorites are through. Sorry, Team USA. You did make it, but you played really well this tournament, and you can hang your heads high. We will have possibly setting up some really good matchups if Argentina can win and Brazil can go through. That would be a great semifinal match. But we're focused on tomorrow's matches, which, if they go to plan, we'll have France face off against England in the quarterfinals. So France versus Poland, England versus Senegal. Jovanni, what's going on? Are you excited for tomorrow's action?
Yeah, I think the games are more competitive. Not that I didn't think US was going to put up a fight. I really thought that they were going to keep it close, but it is what it is. It's not any tactics, or as much as anybody would have blamed the coach. I don't think that was the case in their loss. It was just a wide gap or wide discrepancy in talent. So they were up against a really tough Netherlands side. It's just we hadn't seen the healthy Netherlands side throughout the group stage. So
even battling the flu, they still managed to get it together. But yeah. Makes sense. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Noah's Advantage before we get into the games. Noah's a $50 instant deposit match. Click that link below in the description. Take your free money from Noah's Advantage. Sign on up. We got tons of overlay. I just looked at the contest. There's overlay shipping up as well for NBA, for NFL tomorrow as well. So make sure you get in on that action. They have pools there that are basically like props contests for like props meets DFS. It's a heck of a lot of fun if you've never tried it out. So I'm sure if you watched this before, you probably heard that spiel, but appreciate you listening to it again and help us out by clicking that link and supporting our sponsors. We're greatly appreciative of them sponsoring these shows and helping us keep them free. So, all right, let's move it on. Let's just talk quickly about tomorrow. What we're going to do, we'll just break down each game like we've been doing, and then we'll just talk a little bit of showdown action as well, because there are actually some pretty good showdown contests, it looks like, for each of these single games. So just general thoughts on tomorrow's slate, Jovanni. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I think, like I said, the games will be closer. France, to me, is one way to go just because the Poland's defense has way too many gaps in it. It's just a matter of Shidney puts up a ridiculous amount of saves or not. And then between England and Senegal, I do kind of like Senegal in it. I think that they're kind of being overlooked on the money line, and I don't really trust England's defense.
Makes sense. Let's go there first. Actually, let's go to France and Poland first. France minus 310, Poland plus 950. Let's talk about the Polish side first. We've had a few of these guys projected out pretty well over the course of the tournament. Looks like Peter Zelensky, I don't know what is going on with his price tomorrow, but that is borderline lock territory at just $4,800 on DraftKings. Wojciech Szczesny as well, 3,600. Seems like a great spot to possibly get some save totals and give you some savings. Robert Lewandowski, 6,600. I don't know what is going on with this pricing. This is insane.
Yeah, it's a complete misprice, especially on Zelensky. I don't know how that happened. They're not like they're not facing a team that's a minus 1,000 underdog, and he is on all the set pieces with the exception of the penalties for his side. Maybe some really, really close direct. Maybe Lewandowski takes it, but Zelensky, to me, especially like in cash games, is an absolute lock because his floor is there. I mean, well, like if Poland's not going to like let France just run them over, so. And Zelensky has that floor.
Poland's they're no slouch, right? Like, right. I know they're huge dogs here, but it's not like they're a bad team or something.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. And then I do think they're going to lose the match, but I think it's more on the defense, not on their offense. Still has more than capable stars, especially with Zelensky and Lewandowski for a goal hunting option. Again, Zelensky's way way mispriced here.
Yeah, makes sense. Matty Cash or Camille Glick? Any interest?
No, I think if in the midfield, I think in GPPs you could take some shots on Bilic. At least he's pushing up somewhat in the midfield. I don't know how to say the other one's name. It begins with a G, his first name. I don't know how to pronounce it though.
Gregor Krychuk.
Yeah, so there's some reports. We'll go with that, but there's reports that even Sebastian Szymanski might start in place of him. Either one would push up, especially if France takes an early lead. They would be, I think, the first to start engaging more on the offense just out of necessity. So, and they'll come cheap enough where you could take a flyer on them. They probably won't gather as much ownership regardless whether it's a 2-game slate. So goal hunting options, you hope that they can connect on one of those shots. Not that much, and I wouldn't put them together on the same line between Bilic or whichever one starts between Szymanski or your dude. I'm just going to call him Gregor for now.
Gregor. I like it. All right, let's move it over to the French side here. Let me pull this up. FRE for FRA. I don't know why I said French. So we got Theo Hernandez off a pretty massive price discount off his first slate, which I think was a major misprice. He was like 8,200 or something. Antoine Griezmann, 9,200. Seems like a really good play, a really good value. He's probably going to see, unless they blow them out, going to see the full 90 or close to it. Looks like you have Dembele and Giroud both starting, which is a repeat of what we saw during game one. And of course, Kylian Mbappe, who's live, 10,007, 19.79 points, viable with stacking, I think, a lot of these guys. And Adrien Rabiot, who was scored as well during last game. So talk to me about this French side. How are you approaching it? Looks like there's some pretty decent values in here.
Yeah, so the one thing I'll say is because of Zielinski's misprice, I'm not too concerned with paying or the salary of fitting in any kind of combo. From the French side, obviously Mbappe, it's a goal is becoming pretty routine. It's really you're just chasing now brace, and even if he doesn't score, he has the a floor with an over 5.22, I think, now shots in 90-minute run simulations. And then his on-target rate is just over 40% between club and national team. So if a goal comes from France, more than likely it comes from Mbappe. He also contributes a whole lot. So you can with assists as well. So you can pair him with Olivier Giroud or Dembele on the other side is fine. Griezmann would be the player I'm trying to get overweight on because he has the indirect sets. He's not going to come off the field unless they're up like 3 or 4, even a 2-goal lead. There's no chance that they're going to pull him off, barring some kind of injury. Now I have no issues with again because I don't think the Polish defense is that good. I think Szczesny is good, or at least he's been playing amazing throughout this World Cup run. But that doesn't stop the shot volume, assisted shot, the compound of all that coming from the French attack. So you're going to have to obviously give up on one of them. I think it's Griezmann and Mbappe, and then you can mix and match some lineups if you're running multiple lineups between Dembele as the third piece or Giroud. And then Theo Hernandez, since his price has come down from an open play standpoint and from a defensive metric standpoint, remember, he's going to be on the same side as Zielinski. So he's more than likely Robert Lewandowski when he's not just playing straight up the middle. So he's going to have plenty of opportunity for defensive metrics. And then when they're on the ball, he'll deliver from open play across the field to any of Dembele, Mbappe, or Giroud. You do have a goal contribution upside from there.
Makes sense. Moving it on. Showdown slate. Looks like the mispricing is not as egregious maybe, but it is pretty bad, I think, especially for Zielinski. Lewandowski just 7,800 over on DraftKings. How are you approaching this? Is this going to be like a 4-2 situation in most of your lineups? Any roster constructions that you or captain spots that you specifically like?
Yeah, I mean, today in both the showdowns I ran, I used one captain. I did end up in the showdown at least using Napard and Martinez from Argentina, and they scored enough. But this match in the showdown, I think Snitsny is fine even if you ran like a French onslaught or a French 4-2 stack, because Zelensky will give you a floor, and it's very possible that obviously it's in the realm of outcomes that France wins 2-0 or 2-1, in which case, but at the same time Zelensky has to make 5-6 saves. I mean, I think he's had already multiple games where he's had like 7+ saves. So right then and there, you have a big performance from him at his price, and then you have Zelensky being mispriced, and that at least gives you the floor of in the worst case 7.5 to 9.5 DraftKings points, which would be fine and allows you to get the French superstars. For captain, I think Giroud would probably be like the least owned captain with a goal upside, but I would stick mainly to either Griezmann or Mbappe. And then if you want to get a little bit of leverage, I have no issues with Theo Hernandez. Hugo Lloris,
that's going to be a contrarian one up top. It's going to be mainly Mbappe and Griezmann, right? And then like probably mixed in some Lewandowski and maybe a little bit of Zelensky for cost savings if people are maybe not. Maybe that's too much for reach.
Yeah, I think if you play Lewandowski in showdown, then you don't want to play Hugo Lloris because I don't see France giving up more than like
shots.
more than 2 or 3 at least on target shots, and then that's not going to be enough for Lloris. If you're playing Lloris, you're doing it because you need that clean sheet and win bonus. To which case Lewandowski or even whichever one starts, if it's Karol Switnik or I definitely mispronounced his last name, or Milik, whichever one of them two, they're all goal dependent. So you're really in trouble it's really non-correlated if you play Hugo Lloris with one of them two.
Cool. It does as well. Like I think taking one of these other Polish strikers in the captain spot, it's like in GPPs, like probably not going to work out, but no one is going to have them. So some food for thought. Moving it over to Senegal and England, I guess before we do, let's just shout out BetMGM as well. Link in the description. This offer expires tomorrow, so you want to make sure you take advantage of it. It's bet $10, win $200. Bet on any World Cup game, pregame money line. You win $200. It's that simple. They just put it in your bank account if any team scores a goal this World Cup. So essentially, they're giving you the free money to bet. So make sure you get that. Take advantage of these free money when it lasts, because it doesn't come along too often. So a link is in the pinned comment and the description. Same for NHA. Check those both out. All right, let's move it over to Senegal. Sounds like you kind of like them a little bit. There's certainly some possible savings here as well on the defensive side. We got some 2 really good values as well. Ismail Yassar. Did I get it right this time?
Yes, you did.
All right, Watford star, 6,800. He's looked really good this tournament. Bouladia as well has looked good and is live for a goal. Sounds like you might be a little bit higher than the field on Senegal.
Yeah, I think we'll get into the showdown after, but for the 2-gamer, and they pair well from a GPP standpoint with like a France onslaught type of approach. They're cheap enough, and the biggest thing I think that is not taking into account in the price is that for example, one of the wingbacks, Ismail Jacobs or Jacobs, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but he should be in line for some set shares because he has taken some of them, and Idrissa Gueye is suspended for this match, who was the main taker of the indirect sets for the team. So like him and Zelensky give you that floor, especially in cash games. and open up like a world of possibilities for any top goal hunter that you want, or even Griezmann, and you could pretty much fit every single set piece man from all four sides. So for cash games, that's the way to go. GPP, it might be high owned, that approach, because you can fit it. So maybe you want to leave one off. But as far as goal hunting from Senegal, obviously Sarr, Ismaila Sarr, not Pape Sarr for me, but Ilman Ndahi. He hasn't had like a huge run of minutes, but at least in the last game he was there. I think he might have scored a goal also in the last game. He's very active, and he's really good at creating chances, and he's an accurate shooter. So he might only see like one or two shots, but his accuracy is still live for goal hunting upside. And then the other wingback, Youssef Sabali, he pushes up. He's been playing very well. He has big upside on the defensive metrics, and then so you can take at least the floor with open play volume, upside with defensive metrics, or upside for any kind of a goal contribution.
Cool. I also like Edward Mendy here as well. I think he's the other option. I'm not sure which of these low price goalies will get the most ownerships, but given that Chesney has had some big games so far, there may be some recency bias there. And I would guess that one of these cheap goalies ends up in the winning lineup. Just a question of how you want to stack it and how you want to play it. But let's move it on over to the England side. We've seen a few different lineups from them as well, with Harry Kane kind of injured. Another just really soft pricing from this slate as well. Harry Kane just $8,000, lowest we've seen him yet. Trippier lower than we've seen him, $6,400. Jude Bellingham lower than we've seen him, $5,600. This entire squad is priced down. I guess the first question I have here is how confident this is the lineup that we're going to see. This is similar to the lineup. I think this is the exact same lineup we saw in game one before we started seeing some shifts. But is this what you think we're going to be looking at? Mason Mount, no Phil Foden, that kind of thing? No Rashford?
Yes, because I think this would be the lineup, barring any injuries I might have missed, to which case it would be updated before like when the lineups are confirmed. I will say that I did see some reports that Trippier might be dealing with an injury, to which case then I think Kyle Walker would be slotting into that spot. If Kyle Walker plays, I have no interest in him, only because
injury. I think he played 60 minutes though, and he's only $3,800. Like, that's an insanely good price. No,
I know, but he's sitting back as kind of like and then the Stones and Maguire kind of shift a little bit and let Shaw push up. It's the same role he's pretty much been running when he's been playing for like the past year and a half with Manchester City, where he doesn't push up as much. He lets the other wing back, even though obviously they have a really good one at Manchester United in João Cancelo. But Luke Shaw is an offensive playmaker, so I think he would push up more. So Walker's not on set pieces. If you're playing him, you're really chasing a clean sheet just to push it over, because for the same price range, give or take 1,000, you're looking at Jacobs and Sabali, who are very active on the offensive end for Senegal, or you're looking at actually no, that's about it for that price range, because the only other defender I have of interest is Theo Hernandez, and that's about $2,000 more almost. So for me the thing is, so with Walker, for $1,000 more, you have a much higher floor with Zielinski, even though he's not a defender. But I do like a good amount of defenders.
And the other argument as well against is there's so many pay down spots, you don't have to force it in. So if you don't like him from a projection standpoint, there's no point in like trying to get him in there. You don't there's 20 different choices here of guys you can fit into your lineups, right?
Correct. And I think in those 60 minutes, he came off in the 60 minutes, I think, because he was cramping up. So I'm not sure. And that's been his case in Manchester City too, I think, for the past like year or so, or halfway through last year. Like, he wouldn't finish games because he keeps cramping up. He's obviously very aggressive and stuff, but I think he has like some kind of continuing like lingering injuries that are causing his hamstrings or his legs to like cramp up. So that that's really hard with 2 games. With 2 games, you really need all your guys to run like the 90 minutes to maximize their potential to hit because everybody's going to be high owned. So
right.
Yeah. So I mean, as far as England, Kane is cheap enough to go goal hunting.
Huge ownership there, I'll bet.
Yeah, that's
40,
that's
50.
a difficult. Yeah, that's the difficult part. Maybe a pivot off him is Lewandowski, but
I think Sterling is the pivot possibly. Like he doesn't have any ownership. He doesn't have a great projection, but he's done nothing this tournament. Didn't play in the last game, I believe, and like he can pop a goal at any point, right? Like he can generate on his own. Like I'm guessing there's going to be some recency bias there, and he's going to come in sub 10%.
Yeah, he's going to be like today's Denzel Dumfries.
Yeah, exactly.
Did nothing, and then he got 2 assists and a goal today.
Exactly. So short tournament like that, I kind of like him. Let's talk a little bit about Showdown as well. So how would you approach this England Senegal side? One contrarian move would be to take like a more Senegalese favored stack and hope for the win. That will obviously be a very contrarian move in GPPs because England will probably be will probably have most of the ownership and also probably have most of the possession. But what are you going to do to kind of differentiate yourself in GPPs?
If I were running more than just a single entry, I think the natural leverage is a 3-3 stack because based on the odds alone, you're going to see more than necessary 4-2 and 5-1 England stacks. If you do like the 4-2 5-1 England stacks, like you're heavy, that's your stances on England, then maybe you do. If you see like Sterling starting, maybe you take like 1 or 2% of your exposure and put it into Rashford to come off the bench, or if Rashford starts, you do that with Sterling because if they don't find a goal, they're going to make changes. They're not going to let this game go to extra time or risk it in penalties. It's the same approach that you saw from Argentina today.
There's a correlation element to it, right? Where if you take a backup like Rashford over someone like Kane or Sterling, or maybe you put in like Rashford and Foden, the logic is that they have failed to score possibly, and then therefore not only are you getting leverage on the field, but if they score, you've also kind of eliminated a handful of your competition too, right? So
correct, and you don't need a lot of if the player is not in the starting lineup, he's not going to get more than like 2% owned, and that's with like the 130 plus entries on DraftKings. So it's like if you did 1% on like a under 100 entry, just one lineup with it, you already have massive. You're taking a massive risk, but you have massive leverage. If they score, you're going to jump more than like 60-70% of the field from that approach. So if for captains, obviously, in a showdown approach for captains, if you like the England side, cash games, I think you'd run with Luke Shaw or Trippier. If Trippier's not there, Shaw would be more logical. For captain, he's lets you spend up in the flex, and he has that floor. And then you can mix and match Kane. GPPs, I think Kane would be the best goal hunting, especially since his price is so low. Bukayo Saka is a pivot off Kane, but again, the goal hunting. So since Kane, I think in Kane or Shaw, then Kane would see the most ownership.
Raheem and then Sterling pivot. Let's go.
Yeah.
2%, 5% owned captain spot. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Sterling and Saka, no way they come over, I think, 7% in the captain spots.
Could be leverage spots. What about one last question, then we'll get out of here. Mendy in the captain spot. What do you think?
In GPPs, that's fine. So for me personally, in single entries and in like the 3 or 4 maxes, they keep switching back and forth, whatever those contests are on DraftKings. Mendy in the flex is enough because it's just based on how the odds, how people stack or how how formations are stacked when the odds are have such a heavy favorite, then the opposing goalie in the flex offers enough leverage, and then if he gets scored on like today with Turner, then you're just done. You know the risk when you put an underdog goalie.
Yeah, high risk, high reward.
Yeah, it's a leverage play. So,
all right, well, let's get out of here. Give me top 3 plays, top 3 highest owned plays tomorrow.
Zelensky has to be number 1. That's a complete misprice. Kylian Mbappe, and then third play for cash, Antoine Griezmann, or for GPP, I'm going to go Theo Hernandez.
Awesome. Don't forget, by the way, we got a 3 free day trial now attached to our soccer projections. Link is in the description. Click on that. Sign up for NHA, sign up for BetMGM, and sign up for projections, and we'll see you in Discord. Jovanni's there. One of the keys to winning at soccer as well is making sure you're there for the starting lineup so that you have the latest information, especially on these 2-game slates when a lot of people won't update their lineup. So make sure you are in there responding to these projections, which will be updated as soon as starting lineups come out. So that's it for us. We will see you back here tomorrow. We got 2 days left in the round of 16, and then we get a little bit of a break before the final stretch run. I'm hoping the favorites win out here because that would make for some amazing action next weekend, including a Saturday slate, which would be France, England, and then Portugal, Spain. So sign me up for that. But anyways, thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you next time.
Thank you, guys.